I'm glad to welcome you to Nutrition Moments. I am Fadila Okunu. Nutrition Moments provides comprehensive information about what we nourish our body with to stay healthy. On the program, we learn about the recent events and developments in the field of nutrition on Nutri-News, then to the topic of the day on Nutri-Lens, and finally, we shall be busting some nutrition myths you and I are familiar with. So join me as we check out recent happenings in the field of nutrition on Nutri-News. You are welcome back. Do you know by the time you feel thirsty, you are already dehydrated? The feeling of thirst is a signal to the body to rehydrate. Our focus today on Nutri-Lens is dehydration, the causes, the symptoms, and the severe implications, especially in children, and of course, nutrition tips to stay hydrated. Join me.
Thirst is the brain's way of warning that one is not drinking enough fluid, and to medical practitioners, that is a sign of mild dehydration with symptoms such as headaches, fatigue, dizziness, and more. A cross-section of Nigerians were asked how they feel when they are thirsty.
When I'm thirsty, at times I will not be able to breathe well, and my body will be not okay.
I feel so annoyed. Or angry. I feel angry whenever I'm thirsty. So I'll be like, let me just get a bottle of water to cool my head. At that point, I won't like to talk to anybody.
It's restless because my throat is very dry, so I'm always restless. I'm always looking for the nearest place to get water anytime I'm thirsty.
I can't give it a definite or a specific feeling, but I long for water whenever I'm thirsty.
I feel tired though when I'm thirsty, and I used to have the urge to get water, like very quick.
Uncomfortable. I would need to get water. If not, I won't be at peace, to be honest. I just need water.
According to Journal of Global Health Report 2020, 67% of deaths in low-income countries like Nigeria and India is due to dehydration. What exactly is dehydration? Its implication, and what are the signs to know if one is dehydrated?
Dehydration is a state or a condition of the body in which the body does not have enough fluid, and this is affecting the function of the body. So we can then say that there is dehydration, or some dehydration, or severe dehydration, depending on the degree of this shortage. Usually when people are dehydrated, they may feel dizzy, they may feel tired, they are not behaving the way they normally would behave. They may be confused. They won't pass as much urine as they normally would pass. And then if they do pass urine, then the urine will be concentrated. So it will be really dark in color, as opposed to urine that a normal person would pass that would be almost clear. And then when we look at them, particularly those that are very young, because dehydration is worse in children, it's a condition that can kill, and kill easily for that matter, because the body needs the fluids to be able to function. If it's in children, you may find that their eyes are sunken, so their eyes have gone in. Sometimes you can see that with severe dehydration. If you pull the skin the skin, as I'm pulling my skin, it's going back to normal immediately. The skin doesn't get back to normal. It stays there in that pulled state, and then it slowly then goes back to normal. So these are some of the signs that we would see, particularly children or sometimes even the elderly, when they are dehydrated.
As the human body is composed of over 60% of water, that is about 2/3 of our body, blood, muscles, brain matter, and bones are also composed of 83%, 75%, 74%, and 22% of water respectively. Without water, we cannot survive. Experts say the severity of dehydration can depend on a number of factors such as climate, level of physical activity, and diet.
Sometimes it can be that people are not taking in enough water or enough fluids. So this can be a cause of dehydration. Sometimes it is because people are losing a lot of their fluids. So it's either maybe the person is vomiting or the person is stooling frequently, and so the body fluids are being lost. And so with this loss of body fluids, if it's not replaced promptly, then the person can develop dehydration. So sometimes people take some drugs, and then drugs can lead to a loss of a lot of body fluids, right? And then they can get dehydrated. Sometimes it's maybe the illness. So maybe when people have fever, because when people have fever, that's why health workers would say, okay, try and take lots of fluids, because with a fever, the person is actually losing body fluids as well because of the fever. Each person should at least take in enough fluids in a day.
Again, a survey was conducted on how much water people drink in a day.
I think I consume 7, 8 like bottles of water in a day. Yeah.
I always drink like 2 liters. 2 liters in a day.
I take about 5 bottles of water in a day.
It varies actually. Sometimes I can just make do with maybe 4 sachets of water. But sometimes when I am boxed up and I want to drink water to my satisfaction, I can take like 10 sachets a day.
I take like about 6 sachets of water in a day.
I eat 3 times in a day or 4 times, so I take a sachet after every meal.
As dehydration can be mild or severe in adults and children, especially those suffering from diarrhea, preventive and prompt visit to the health facility can save lives.
In preventing dehydration on a normal day-to-day basis, we should take in lots of fluids. So it's good to drink water, and we should be drinking at least 2.5 to 3 liters of water in a day, so that we can be well hydrated. And you will notice it when you go and pass urine. All right, you will see that your urine is either it's concentrated or it's clear. So if it's clear, then it means you're doing well. But if it's concentrated, then it means you need to take in more fluids so that you can avoid dehydration. And then of course, when people are out there, working, doing things, particularly on a hot day, in our own weather here, we're in the tropics, it's usually hot, right? And then people are in the sun, so we need to replenish all of the lost fluids, because we're sweating, we're losing the fluids because we're out there. So we need to take in fluids to replace what we have lost, right? And then to make sure that we are well hydrated. Sometimes when mothers see that maybe the child is having diarrhea, all right, passing frequent stools, they now don't want to breastfeed the child, all right, thinking that okay, the child will go and pass another stool. But that is the time to actually breastfeed the child more and make sure the child is taking enough to replace what that child has lost by passing the stools, or when the child is ill. So when the child is ill, feeding should be more frequent. If it's a child that is still breastfeeding, then the mother should breastfeed as frequently as possible, as long as the child can take it. And if the child is not taking anything orally, the child is maybe vomiting or is refusing to take, then the mother should quickly go to the hospital and see a doctor, right? Because it's more severe in children, and it can easily lead to death more in children than in adults. But that is not to say that it cannot lead to death in adults as well, because it does lead to, because there are cases in which, particularly when there's maybe like an epidemic of cholera, right, and people are passing stool frequently, they are vomiting, and it's not being replaced, then it can easily lead to death, right? So people need to ensure that if such conditions come up, then they seek help quickly. They don't wait, and they don't stop feeding or trying to take in some sort of body fluids, right? Be it water, be it oral rehydration salts, right? At least let the person take something, whatever is available first, right? And then seek for help.
As nutrition is a critical part of health and development, incorporating hydrating fruits in our diet can be helpful in managing dehydration and supplying the body with essential vitamins and minerals.
Fruits contain lots of fluids, usually, so it's a good idea to take fruits like watermelon, for example, contains lots of fluids. Oranges contain lots of fluids, so it's good to take fruits. But apart from those ones that contain lots of fluids too, even the others that appear to not contain so much, it's good to take them as well. And then of course there are also different drinks. Even if maybe you are not able to take enough water, you can't drink so much water, then you can make a smoothie. You can juice the fruits so that you drink it. All right, get the juice from the fruits that are available and then drink them. I wouldn't be recommending taking fizzy drinks, all right, but if that is what is available and that acute time of need, then of course if the person needs to take, then the person would then take, but of course preferably water.
While it is important to drink enough water to stay hydrated, experts call for moderation by sipping water at regular intervals instead of chugging water all at once. Chugging water can cause water intoxication and imbalance of electrolytes in the body.
The truth is that too much of anything is not good. All right, so it's possible to drink too much water, and this can also be dangerous. But many times when we drink water, we're guided by thirst. So if you're thirsty, then please go ahead and drink water. If you're not thirsty and you found that you still haven't taken as much water as you should take, then you should still take a little more of it. But yes, it is possible, and it can be dangerous if people take too much water.
This is where we wrap it up on Nutrition Moments today. I'm sure you've learned one or two things on today's episode of the program. Join me next week for more. Till then, bye for now.